Oh man, I didn't. Okay, we're live. Okay, I'm looking at the screen all hard. Let me see Instagram. Okay, we're live on Instagram as well.
Okay.
Um, for those of you that are on Instagram, going back and forth as far as comments may be a little difficult. But if you have any issues hearing me, let me know. But it's a three of spades week. Um, yeah, I got a reality check, I guess you can say. This for myself, to be honest. Um, as far as threes, I had to look at where the three of spades. I mean, I had to look at like their Saturn card when I was reading over their card and looking at it. And, they have the sevens also within their spread as well. The seven of clubs, the jack of clubs, for that particular card. So boundaries, having clear and strong boundaries. And I think I have okay boundaries, but I'm a three of diamonds. I have a seven of hearts. And I had a conversation around relationships this week, which semi unexpected, I guess, with a friend. And they actually, what's the transformation for the three?
Four
The four,
diamonds.
they were the four of diamonds.
Oh, uh,
So, yeah, we had a conversation about relationships, and I've known them for like half of my life since middle school. So we have like a real close relationship, a real like friendly relationship. And also that's the thing about the three of spades is also having like really friendly, intimate relationships and close relationships and learning the boundaries and having to making sure that you're not sexualizing your relationships or over or putting, I guess your the whole bank into the relationship in the very beginning. So, like I said, having clear boundaries. But and I've actually had to go through that journey with some of my friendships and understanding. So she was the first person that like I liked in middle school, and then we've grown to be friends. So it's like not sexualizing or not having like strong boundaries and having like a real friend, But um, there's always a but, right? As far as relationships, I think I've struggled with that as well. Like I had to do that with her, but with other people, I hate rejection. So that was one of the topics of conversations was rejection and how that looks and feel. And guys don't take it too well. I don't. I don't think a lot of guys like to be told no.
mm-hmm.
And as for women, I can see how that could be kind of difficult. Oh my bad, I got this showing twice. For women, I can see how it can be kind of difficult with having to tell a lot of guys no who hate to be told no. But I think that's very telling and relevant for the three of spades. Oh yeah, I don't even have to bring it up. It's on this side. For the three of spades, it's right off top. You have the nine of hearts in their spread. Very young and very early in their life, and a lot of the difficulties comes through. Why is that like that? I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. What are you doing?
I was trying to find the one that go on the side. There you go.
There you go.
A lot of the difficulties come from miscommunication. Within relationships and disappointments, maybe within relationships, and money. When you don't have strong boundaries, what can also happen is you being misdirected and your energy getting pulled in a lot of different directions. I kind of said that during the King of Hearts month for men or the King of Diamonds month. I mean, a week for men, that can be dangerous with not having strong boundaries and not knowing who you are fully, and being mature. You
Yeah, it's a lot of maturity, and I think the three energy in itself, can, you know, I think rock to both sides. I think they have some of that immature energy. It's like childlike energy, but
know.
having that nine as its first card, there it does require some. growth and not holding on. And that, I think, the nines to me bring a lot of maturity, but they still have like this childlike essence about them. And I think that's with all the threes, because they want to play, they want to have fun, they want to create. So it's being able to still tap into that. And I think with the three of spades specifically is they have to be careful of, getting overwhelmed, taking on too much. It's interesting when you think about it. You, as a three of diamonds, has a six as a challenging karma card, and the three of spades has that six of diamonds as its challenging karma card.
Mm-hmm.
So, they probably as well deal with, because even both of you have sevens as Venus cards. Like, you see the similarities, right? Um, and so, uh, relationship karma. And I think too, with having that seven in Venus, it's staying in the present, staying in the now, watching the negative self-talk, maybe around relationships, not talking themselves out of them. Um,
For
but
sure.
yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So it's interesting when you see the similarities between the three of spades and the three of diamonds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. I can kind of. I was like, I can just kind of do it on the side, but let me bring it up all the way so we can kind of see the whole spread. There you go. The obligation, I think, as well. And then the jack of clubs, the three of diamonds can be capped and save them as well because they have the jack of hearts and Saturn, so it's like a sacrifice. But you don't really think about the three of spades as being sacrificial as well. Like what you say?
I forgot I was on the mute. The Jack of Hearts is their vertical Mars.
Mm, yeah, I didn't even look at that
Hmm.
fully. So yeah,
So they
so
may be, one, there's tendency to be blindsided, into
mhm.
relationships, not seeing it as it really is. Wanting to, and having that nine of hearts as the Mercury card, and then having that Jack of Hearts as that vertical Mars. There is this maybe overwhelming, feelings of wanting to help, wanting to save, and giving a lot, and but again, you got to give without the attachments, and you got to give without the expectations, and the conditions is so key for that. But I think their work, when they're passionate, and children may be something that they, really, you know, are passionate about as well, with that Jack of Hearts being there.
Passionate
But yeah, they
about
do have
children.
it. Huh?
You said what? You said passionate about children.
Yeah, they can be passionate about children with that Jack of Hearts and Mars being there, or having a very childlike nature, and
Mm,
fun, and be, and because the direct Mars is what, the five of diamonds, so the Mars is the five, and the vertical is a Jack. So those are very, that's very non-committal when you think about it.
non-committal. No, yeah, I think threes. You know what's crazy? I was talking about polygamy, and and it's kind of like taboo for a three of diamonds. It's like y'all need to really settle down. It's like the three of diamonds
Mm.
should not be talking about polygamy in this social climate for the three of diamonds right now. But I was speaking about it just from the standpoint of, you know, I guess relationships and I wouldn't say it's like a sacrifice or you like want to love the world, but you know, you can create relationships, you can create attachments, you know, and within those attachments, you you feel obligated, and it may be hard to let go, you know. So clear boundaries and not sacrificing yourself, you know, for other people, being sacrificial. Um, so yeah, non-committal. I think even in polygamy, there is a commitment there, right? So you have a relationship, but I think polygamy, as far as you know, if you're not in that type of, if you feel non-committal, like you don't want to commit to one person, you know, look at polygamy, maybe, you know, but. Don't take my advice. I'm not a marriage expert. Trust me, I'm a third diamonds. I don't know if I can be out here giving marriage advice, but I have the six of hearts. That is the card for marriage. If if you go back to certain posts, I played the jagged edge and the six of hearts because it's the promise. It's also a promise and the obligation. So outside of like non-committal, I think there is an obligation that they can have. It's like a reap what you sow, and I wouldn't say you have to suffer, but there's no complaints that is on the road for the three of spades. So when you start complaining about the things that you committed to or things that you obligated into doing, I don't think that makes for anyone to have a good relationship. If you do find yourself not being able to commit to certain things, not saying that bad for business, but sometimes people do look at that. Um, Escapism is an issue with jacks and the five of diamonds. There could be escapism that can come in there as well. Um, what else? Not just escapism, victim type of mentality, may can lead you to be non-committal or within relationships or having a fear of being in relationships. And it's talking about the card fear. Kamala Harris is actually the two of clubs, who's the Pluto, and today's her day, right? So we ended the week on her two of clubs Pluto card, with that energy, which is debate. I wouldn't say a debate, but conversation. Um, when it comes to like breaking the boundaries, I think the two of clubs can be someone that can look into those avenues if they're not too scared to force their, I won't say force their opinion, but implement their brilliance, I think, into certain situations. So there a lot of times they can be therapists, scientists, someone that just maybe even in between sales in some type of way, but very always relate space and those things to that energy. So the three of clubs, three of spades. So it has that type of energy as well. It can be a person that can be thinking outside of the box. So not so thinking is not really someone that is traditional, possibly. So traditional relationships may not work. Maybe.
Yeah, I think they would be excuse me, and nothing traditional. But they have to be mindful with that too of clubs and Pluto, control the that's a that in itself can bring codependency, fear, definitely can be arguing. And if they're coming at a space from a space of not having enough or trying to control others or situations, and that could be, I mean, look at the result card is the king of clubs, and they could definitely have a lot of success, but they have to be very their communication, is definitely something that they're probably constantly working on, and facing any of their internal fears with that too in Pluto.
I'm talking about polygamy. The Jack of Diamonds is a playboy too, and I forgot
Oh
that
yeah.
is that what challenges them, right?
Yeah, that's their challenging karma card. And it's their support, I'm sorry. It is their cosmic lesson and their supporting karma card.
The supporting card. I said challenge. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
supporting card.
But it's also their cosmic lesson too.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And not to say that they can't be trusted. There's different, you have um
There's levels.
yeah, there's definitely levels. So you only have a few. So it's February 11th, February 9th, March 7th, April the 5th, March 3rd, June 1st. But this is the three of spades week. And this came up in my conversation this week. So that is also one reason we're talking about and speaking about it, because it is kind of something I reflected upon, So when I say that's the energy of the week, I'm observing for myself, like I said, and this week I learned that I didn't have great boundaries, especially with relationships. And I want to say throwing money or being flat. It's not like being flashy, but treating someone out, and maybe overly doing it. Yeah, some people would call them simps. You know what? My brother, he was like Boston Richie. I don't know. I don't really don't know who he is, but he was like a lot of the rappers and a lot of the people. His audience is a lot of females because he always talking about tricking on females. But it ain't tricking if you got it. If you love someone, if you care for them, there's nothing wrong with giving. But don't lead with your wallet. Because Yeah, that's like this, nine of hearts, seven of diamonds, overly doing it.
Hmm.
So the
Have
three
to
of
have boundaries. Definitely a nine in as that first card is, definitely working on boundaries.
mm-hmm,
Because isn't the nine of diamonds is their Uranus card too? So you have a nine Mercury and a nine Uranus. So their communication style, they can say some off the wall type stuff too, for sure. And so, and I think this is why I can see why this can be a very strong artistic card. The way that they not being attached to certain things, really going deep into their creative energy and really pulling things from the depth of within. And I also feel like they can be very, like you said, very untraditional, multi-talented. It can be busy, definitely can be busy energy, but that those nines being there, part of like that higher, the Mercury and the Uranus, it's like, again, thinking outside the box, thinking big. But that six of diamonds is saying, there still has to be a sense and a level of responsibility, accountability, ground, like having that, knowing again that you're constantly attracting things that are probably teaching you different lessons, having to be financially responsible as well.
mm-hmm.
Doing things, fairly is going to also be very important for them.
Maturity.
Yeah.
Like you said, once you when you're young, you want to do the most. You can overdo it. You have no budget. You have no sense of control, right? I was just telling my friend the other day, it's probably good that I didn't get as financially. I wasn't as financially successful as I really wanted to be because I had a freaking blast. Even in where I was, I had a blast. But if I had more, it would have been I would have been out of control. The best explanation, I've never really heard anyone put it like this except for Tupac. But when he said, "I'm a Gemini," and when I'm serious, I can be serious by myself. I can be alone working, but when I'm having fun, I can be harmful to myself. I can
Mm.
I can be dangerous to myself. I am having a ball. So it is, that's the three energy, the three of spades, is, and also when you don't have boundaries and those things, it can be harmful maybe to yourself and others as well, if you're not very clear. Like I say, especially on communication, and also let you know that we're not just talking just to talk. I don't know how long we've been here, but I'll read a little bit from this particular um, book. Is What's Your Card by Arnie Lynn. And he talks about the Nine of Hearts and Mercury, just a preview of what the book says. Traditional cardologers, and experts of the science. So, one of the greatest assets, and probably also one of your prime hurdles, is the magnetic charm suggested by the Nine of Hearts, your Mercury card, especially when combined with immaturity. This influence is more likely to bring emotional disappointments than fulfillment in love. And since this planetary position of your life spread especially applies to your younger years, hearts heartaches are likely to have made themselves felt early in your life. For the past part, these may have been due to cautious beyond your control, causes beyond your control, but throughout your life, an inability to communicate your real thoughts and desires is likely to contribute to your difficulties in relationships. Frustrations are also out to be associated with financial limitations, which in turn may result from your rather unrealistic view of life and economic innocence. In the light of this, you would be wise not to mix love and money to become money wise as soon as possible. Good luck with that one. I think I added Croatia. Hello, Croatia. I don't know if she's there. Yeah, so that is the how the books would explain the three. spades, and a little bit from the introduction. Your three of spades suggests that necessity of having to make important decisions, especially those pertaining to work or your life's purpose, can be almost traumatic. You may diverse interests and associates are likely to pull you in all directions. The placement of your card in the Saturn line spread, displacing a six of diamonds, suggests a heavy karmic. In other words, the challenge handed to your destiny to find yourself both in a mundane sense and spirituality and spiritually may seem so overwhelmingly difficult that you may choose to avoid this responsibility. If you choose this, if you choose this out, the inspired with vision implied in your spade card is out to be lost in a life without purpose. Accept the responsibility of your great challenge, even though it may be difficult. You should find the fate can be generous, and that your card can also symbolize a significant and rewarding self-expression. So,
I think the threes have, I think all of them, I think that's one of their biggest mm, challenges, struggles is making decisions.
mhm. Yeah, for sure. I told you m- oh man, I told you this week was gonna be challenging for me coming in. That's how I left out the video last week, and it was. I wouldn't say very distracted, but somewhat distracted, right? And trying to make money, and I wouldn't say from my money issues. I have a seven of diamonds in Venus, so I never feel like I have enough money. Like, that is the unfortunate plight of the three of diamonds as well. You know, trying not having enough money to take over the world. You seen Diddy in his rants. I'm a monster. I'm a bit,
Did
like,
you say not making enough money to take over the world?
huh?
Did you say not making enough money to take over the world?
Yeah, not having enough money, wanting to take over the world. Yeah, yeah. That's the
Well, and
plight
I
of.
think like, but you see, you can, I think that's where like that having that seven of diamonds in Mars, you can either think like that, or
Mhm.
you already know you have enough money to take over the world and you don't come from a space of the doubt or not having enough, because all you're going to do is perpetuate that energy to, re manifest. So and I think that's the thing. And think about it too, like when we go back to like the making a decision, and that six being both your challenging karma card and then also the six of diamonds being the three of spades challenging karma card, is that, trusting yourself, listening to yourself, trust your gut, trust your intuition, because we know the six starts top, goes back down into itself. So knowing
Mhm.
you're going to get back what you put out, but at the same time, can you, not let those sevens kick your ass and, bring yourself into a moment of peace and quiet and balance, and, so that you can really allow the intuition to come in and guide you rather than impulsively make decisions out of lack, fear, or not having enough, right? I think
Mhm.
that's key for the three, specifically both the three of spades and the three of diamonds, because they have a lot of the same energy, a lot of the odd numbers, if you will, in their spread, like you do.
And I think sometimes it's not even from a sense of lack, um, just not having enough. I felt like even if I had a business, I would want another one, like
Mm,
that constant need to invest and to grow or to indulge into another line of work or partnership or business or, even for the sense of self-expression, of the three of their journey, of me, financial expression or creativity and those type of things, like having ideas for days of like how to create money, right? Creative ways to
mm,
make money, through diamonds. So also comes from that, there's an infinite inspiration is actually one of my human design traits as well for Pluto. But so yeah, it's like that type of energy for me outside of just the lack. But in that, there is like you don't really need to be the mayor of the town eventually, you don't have to, like, you can, not to say you have to limit yourself, but Um, because also within desire it is also death. You know, you can die within your desires as well. So, and within that, you can set limitations and those things, negative things, if you don't get exactly what you want. You know, so it's like a conundrum. It's hard to kind of explain in the sense of how the seven diamonds can be, but it's also a want to help other people. So it's not just a need for me. I also want to help because I have family. It's like weird being someone that is on the brink of like getting to where you want to be, and people see it and they like, I need a job. Like, so it also comes from the wanting to help and give and those type of aspects as well, you know, of having ideas to want to work with family and give back and create these opportunities for other people. So, you know, so it comes from those. So, yeah. So the three of spades, I think, in the nine of hearts, seven of diamonds, is playing in between, you know, seeing that infinite ability to create money, create opportunities, knowing how to give back, you know, to other people, creating a bridge or being a bridge for people. Because seven is about business and partnerships and relationships, you know. But also not, like you said, not having those limits and not being emotionally disappointed, you know, within relationships as well. And the self hexing from the seven of clubs. I've had an issue when my sevens, the seven of clubs, with the doubt and the fear in those areas. To be honest, and it's a daily process. Like I didn't grow up thinking I was like the best looking guy. To be honest, so telling myself, even taking compliments was hard.
Hmm.
To be honest, or knowing how to really take a compliment and give it back because you don't think people are being sincere. Maybe you know it's
Right,
like,
and I think
oh.
I agree. I think it can be a definite challenge is if you've never been complimented or you didn't never have that when someone starts doing it, you're like, what do you want? You know, like to become defensive. It's like, wait a minute, you want something, right? Like, you know, what's your mo here? Become suspicious. You know,
Mhm.
you can become suspicious, and I think having that seven in Venus, as you have a seven in Venus too, so there is that like, you know, there can, I think especially the seven of clubs, they definitely having someone to talk to, being able to express themselves. But I can see, you know, it's funny because my oldest daughter's ex-boyfriend, even though I loved him, he was such a good kid, but he's a three of spades, and now that I'm really like thinking back, I'm like, wow, there were like times where he did have like that negative mindset, and it was like I always wanted to try to like be like, don't think like that, you know. And he would definitely, you know, even my daughter would say, mom, you don't even know, like he's very sensitive and he'd be very emotional. And you know, it was almost like she's like, mom, I had to like get him out of, like he'd be depressed and stuff like that. And I think that seven of clubs, you know, can really be a seven in Venus at all can be challenging because there's a lot of fear that can come with those cards, and it's evolved with relationships and what other people do or don't do when you kind of give your power to like, you know, if, however someone like speaks to you, or especially with the club, or talks to you or whatever, you if you don't have some kind of like understanding or boundaries, you can very much allow what they say or whatever really penetrate you and cause you to like spiral into that, you know, what the quicksand of the mind that I call it. And it can be daunting because she would tell me, you know, after they broke up, when she really opened up about the situation, she said, mom, he was so negative all the time. He always thought the worst. And I was like, oh wow, like because I saw a different side of him. You know, I'm the mom, so he's, you know, gonna portray being all happy and nice for the most part. But you know, she would tell me that when they would talk a lot, um, that he
Yeah.
would have a negative mindset at times.
Yeah, so that's the seven of clubs can when you're being pessimistic or if you have, you know, your previous relationships have created these particular habits and without you even noticing, based upon your personal experience, disappointments, or whatever it may be. You start to program yourself. You start to, especially clubs. I wouldn't say just the seven of clubs, just clubs in general. So just observing a club, not just the seven clubs, the 10 of clubs, the three of clubs. Like this is sometimes just the club nature, not to pinpoint a particular person or just this particular energy, but having this a club in Venus can create this type of energy. So all the other cards who may have clubs in Venus, can maybe deal with these particular traits as well, right? So like the two of diamonds, stubborn, that's just a whole nother level. Nine of clubs. Three of hearts, we talk about them. The queen of clubs is a tough cookie to really pin down within relationships. Oh my gosh. When the thinking gets to going, and they have a three of hearts, so that kind of challenges them. Five of clubs, I think they are really good in relationships, but the queen of clubs has a five of clubs on Venus. Whew, okay. That is one of those energies where it's kind of difficult as well. Jack of clubs in the um wait, I said the Jack of clubs. I'm gonna say the five of diamonds can have secret relationships with the Jack of clubs and Venus. So you have these particular traits just in all of the cards or within these particular positions is or where you want to look for those particular traits. The seven of clubs occupying Venus segment of your life spread suggests that you are really going to have to let your head rule your heart. Okay. So otherwise, the combination of this card with the planet of love suggests that emotional matters can become a major source of worry. Some of the anxiety that you are likely to experience is apt to be due to a lack of discrimination in your involvement. You're inclined to attract all kinds of people. Captain Save them, right? um, Out to attract all kinds of people, and then your own insecurity be flattered by their attention to you. So that's another side of being insecure that I do like outside of not being able to take compliments is also I was talking about my issue with um, actually being attracted to aggressive women. I think out of my own personal insecurity. And I really reading this, I was like, dang it, is that because of my own insecurity that I like aggressive women?
But I would say, knowing you that eventually, strong or not, you're going to speak up. So, like a
Mhm.
strong person is going to make you speak up, right?
Right.
Make
Yeah.
you like stronger about yourself. Because I
Hmm.
think all relationships kind of are refining us to some degree. And I think when we have
Yeah.
insecurities, the relationships is where you work that stuff out, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? I'm getting walked all over.
Hmm. No, yeah, for sure, and it's kind of like it balances you out. You get it's a self reflection. And pushing growth, on my behalf as well. So it's definitely one of those things where I seen where it challenged me in certain areas. Mhm. Were you about to say something?
No, I'm sorry. I was
Okay.
not. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah, where it challenged me to speak up and really find my voice within those relationships as well, because I wasn't always, like I said, the most outspoken, confident, voice, um, voiceful person. So it really pushed me as well. So you find balance within relationships, and it's not just for me, just anybody. But yeah.
I think the only way to find balance in the relationship sometimes, though, is to grow out of balance and then have to get it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to kind of
And
learn what's
reclaim
going
it.
on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you got to reclaim it after you're like, wait a minute, hold on. How come you're making all the decisions? Or how come I'm not saying what I think? Wait a minute.
No, it does for sure. You Self-reflection is always needed, and that's the karma and the duty and the work and all those things. I think that's also a tie with the sixes is the responsibility, right? Taking responsibility of my side within the relationships, and also three of diamonds, three of spades. They have a six of diamonds, and being responsible. And that could be financially, you know, but also responsible within their own mission and their own birthright or whatever it is where they feel obligated, to insert their rules, their values, their morals, their principles, you know, set clear boundaries and, make it very clear of what they're here to do and what they want to do and their goals. Like I said, and that's why, like, if you don't have clear boundaries, you don't have a clear mission, you don't have a clear voice, you can be straight, you kind of go anywhere. Or kind of push and pull.
And it's got that King of Clubs and Jack of Diamonds. Those are such community focused kind of cards. Like, I know Jack of Diamonds can be anti, but they can also be builders, And the King of Clubs, I always see them as someone who wants to kind of be on the high side of what's good for the people. And it'll be their cosmic lesson or reward.
The King of Clubs is the reward, and the Jack of Diamonds is the cosmic lesson.
Yeah, so like how to play. Yeah, I have a good friend that's that. I've never really looked very closely at the three of spades. We're so obsessed with the three of diamonds all the time. But yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, we're running from presidents here. Like.
He's got the stars behind his head. At first, I thought it was like his bedroom from when he was a kid, like with football stuff in there. But now it looks really like a presidential candidate over there with the two stars.
Yeah, I just need a little bit of red, We'll be there.
You got to wear a red shirt, Rashad.
Yeah. I've been on my all black lately. Have you ever wore an outfit that was so dope that you woke up and wore it 2 days in a row?
I don't know if I ever don't do that. When I get into a good cozy outfit, I'm like, oh, this could be a weeker if I didn't have to go anywhere. I'm like, this is good. This is cozy. I mean, you change the undergarments and stuff like that. But, when you got the right flow, I know good outfits are really key. They just help you feel really comfortable.
I wear this. This is my sweatshirt that, like, when I'm cold, like now that it's gotten chilly, so I won't wear it to bed, but I'll take it off. And then, like, as soon as I wake up in the morning, after I come out from my covers, I put it back on. And then it's just what I will be in probably every day.
Nice.
But I said because I wore all black this week. So I think that was in light of the three of space energy, But fashion, uniqueness, art, drudgery, So I do have some things that that will be coming to the light sooner or later. I'm excited about, but dressing towards the cards, I think is my new little thing. I want to see how that works out. I was like,
like in your closet, there's like a little guy that tells you what your card of the day is and what you're surrounding people on. You're like, oh, this is a good day to wear green. Yep, I'm gonna wear some green. I'm gonna wear some what?
Abundance.
Abundance.
Out of darkness comes light. So there's a lot of light that comes from the three of spades and creativity. They're the artists. Like sometimes the artists are the darkest people. Speaking of that, I was listening to the Waynes. I think three of spades, three of diamonds. We have a dark humor sometimes. Maybe that's the three, right? But he was talking about that he was born with a club foot. I think it was Damon Wayans, one of the Wayans brothers. And he's like one of the funniest guys. And it's like, I think sometimes we even look at artists or just people and we don't think about the things that they go through, but they still have to create joy within their lives. And we kind of complain and these things, or you hold people up to a pedestal like they're millionaires, but you don't see what they've actually been through, right? And the pain and the drudgery. So that's like the sayings of the spades, right? You kind of reap what you sow, and that's spiritually and maybe in the past life as well. Like even within relationships, the six of hearts with me displacing it. Think about past life relationships, and it's not pretty all the time, right? Like the karma isn't always pretty, and you have to really kind of sit with that and for yourself and go through it, no matter what it is. It's like you look at P. Diddy right now, right? But his dad was actually murdered as a kid, right? So it's like, yeah, you can look at him as this evil person and this and that, but like, where would you be if your parents got murdered or your dad got murdered? I've actually seen what that looked like with my relatives, and it comes with addiction. A lot of times it comes with, a skewed mentality a lot of times. So karma, rather, it isn't always nice. People go through kind of the craziest things, but to find humor within your situation is the light sometimes that we got to push through, no matter what. And that's kind of what the spades kind of remind us of a lot of times.
Yeah, we were talking with Rob in the clubhouse, and he calls the spades the swords. So when you're talking about working through it or cutting through it, it makes a lot of sense. And sure, when something like that happens, like someone that you love goes away in a horrible way, like murder or whatever, that young person, whoever did it or whomever, is going to have a decision that they're going to make about life and what matters and doesn't matter. And from that place, they may make some decisions that are not necessarily in the highest good of all, or even themselves, because they're so wounded that they kind of don't care, or they got numb with whatever they picked up, to numb it. So all that makes tons of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even within this card, having a spades and Neptune is tough. I think, looking at just the lineup of the three of spades or any of the cards that may have a spade and Neptune, that's a kind of a tough position, and it's a highly spiritual position as well. So, but looking at spirituality at a young age, I was questioning death. Like, what does it really mean? Why would God create suffering in the world? And I have an ace of spades in Mercury. So I was questioning death at a very young age, like 6, 7 years old. I was like, why would God create death in the world? And it drove my understanding of a lot of things, and Christianity and prayer and those things. So mediumship, I think, can come with the three of spades, even speaking about death or the afterlife and those things. But yeah, death can kind of shape your character and your understanding, and if you're not careful, it's a three of spades, right? So that you're at the crossroads of decisions to make within your life, and it's kind of hard to make those decisions without the proper guidance, parents, someone to protect you, look after you. And you start to look at other people as parents or guides, or look at other people for protection, and if they don't hold up to that, you start to get disappointed, and your belief in people can kind of fade away, and that nine of hearts or whatever nine that can be in your life spread at that particular point can kind of take over.
There's a couple of questions. Somebody wanted to know which book this is. So did you already answer that when you had up the book before?
I did. Right. It was Arnie Lynn Westbrook card. I do post that sometimes. I talk about it. I mean, it's really for beginners, because to be honest, it was like I learned the cards and then I read the book. So like I learned it orally from Aquarius, and then what she said confirmed what I read. So it's like, depending on how you learn, those are kind of good places to kind of start from and to kind of grow from. Also, Nina Diamonds 8 kind of taught me. My Three of Diamonds nephew, who doesn't know he's a Three of Diamonds yet, but you okay? Okay. All right. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, any other questions? I think it's getting kind of late. Did you see anything
Have you been
else?
like extra tired this week?
Oh my God, I took a 3-hour nap today.
My God, I'm just like,
I'm so tired.
So tired.
I really did. I did my meditation and I closed my eyes, and then there was like
3 hours later.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely have been sleeping.
Super.
Yeah.
It's This energy has been exhausting for me. Like, I am very much looking forward to the Four of Spades week, and hope that it's better.
Like, come on tomorrow.
It's just been like, oh my God. But
it's gonna level
and I
out.
think that's a part of it, one. And I think we even talked about at the show last week. I said to everybody, be careful of exhaustion and overdoing it. And I'm like, oh, this week is just, it was a lot. It just felt like, like you said, that decisions, crossroads, or just taking on too much work. You know, add the
Mhm.
fact we had the full moon in this week too. So, and it's always a little bit more challenging to sleep during that
Right.
time. So it's definitely been tiring.
Mhm. No, you're right. You definitely have to think about the full moon, and I was kind of blaming on three of spades. I was like, I'm at a crossroads. I'm doing too much, and by the end of the week, I was kind of burnt out. So I'm getting ready to manage this mailbox location. Also, I was trying to take advantage of my cousin's landscaping company and clean up disaster like cleanup plan where he wanted me to go out and do door to door and sell like cutting people trees, which I actually sold three jobs if he
There you
followed
go.
up. But if he didn't follow up, I'm going to be very upset because I put in a lot of time and I could have organized my little cousins and
Here he
got the
goes.
job done and got an immediate payout of $800, gave them 150 a piece for the day and got my five and got out of there. But if he didn't follow up, I'm gonna be upset because I already sold the job. Like, why wouldn't you? Like,
Yeah,
all you had to
that's
do was
part of
show up.
sales. Yeah.
Right. Like I did my job. So
Mm.
I was doing that all week and then like I said, managing the store. It was a lot for me. So yes, I was tired. By the end of the week, I was burnt out. I was like, maybe I'm just trying to escape my responsibility. Six of diamonds, jack of clubs. I don't know. But yeah, I was exhausted. Full moon is definitely, I think that's very I'm always the guy that's like I'm not into like all the spiritual like hoopla, but the science of the moon, the way that it affects the oceans and the waters and the pull on us, like how could you do you think that you're like this little big to the ocean? Like if it has an effect on the ocean, why wouldn't it affect you? Right?
Well,
Like
introduce Groisha to the other reason why we don't sleep.
Okay, I'm gonna go now. I knew she was gonna do it. The family's having the meeting. I'm not even talking to her. We're kind of acting like we're friends. We're really broken up.
what happened?
I grossed her out completely.
No, you like gave words to the most uncomfortable sensations that I could have inside of me. I was like, I couldn't sleep for all the full moon nights. I was struggling. And she's going on saying that parasites come out in the full moon. Um,
Oh,
and I'm like, la la la. And then like I was thinking about how I felt like there was an alien in my belly during the full moon, and then it just got ugly. And you know how Gina loves the graphic details of things that she
oh Lord. Okay. Unfortunately, someone on IG said something they thought they had someone was that with their kidneys was failing or something.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I was with someone. Speaking of, I had no boundaries. If I told you my week, you'd be like, "What the freak?" Like, like who did you end up with? How y'all?
just hearing
Where
the
did you
edges of your
go?
stories makes me feel a little like like it's a roller coaster. Just hearing the little bits.
It is. I always leave out details. I tell the worst stories because I'm like really trying to save, like I'm trying to save myself a little bit, you
No,
know.
you're not. You got the ace of spades and Mercury. You ain't telling anything.
No, so
Mm-mm.
but
Yeah,
You
it's all
ain't
like a
telling
little
shit.
charm game, just throwing stuff around. Yeah, it's just living in the chaos of his head for a little while.
we're just gonna throw the little pieces that see if it sticks to the
Mm-hmm.
wall. If it don't, it don't. But I was with someone and the kidney like they could not stop going through to the bathroom. Like I was on a road trip. Of course, I took a road trip. Five of diamonds, three of clubs week. You know, so I was on the road spending unnecessary money for someone younger, and it was felt like a sacrifice, and I hated it. But I felt like I was somewhat obligated, and it was just like this whole drudgery. I was fighting it, and it was horrible. And they had to pee every minute of the second. Like I was like, "What
They
is
got
this?"
parasites. I was kidding.
Oh God,
Oh my
no!
god, is that a part of it? Do you be all the time?
I was like, you know what? I was like, maybe it's. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, there may be even schizophrenia. I was like, are you like sane? Are you okay? Not saying it was that bad, but I was like, yeah, it was a lot, man. It was a lot. But that's what it could have been. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm on it. I already have a friend who's bringing in this stuff, and I'm going to go into the accountability mode, that and physical therapy. And I got this Del Toro, some other stuff that somebody had that I'm just taking a spoon and water of. But I'm in it. I'm definitely like, oh, no, you got to go. Whatever it is. No. But yeah, I'm going to name it Gina when I birth it.
No. naming the parasite.
It'll be our mascot, our little parasite. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know someone that used to do really good parasite cleanses, and she stopped. Because I think doing stuff like that and giving advice through those about stuff without having a medical license is kind of hard. And you are taking on a lot of responsibility.
No, she was just trying to scare me straight. She wasn't trying to be a doctor. Gina didn't try to be a doctor.
No. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying it works. I was going to say I don't know why she stopped doing it though, because it actually worked. Like
I'm hoping
all her cleanses, all her results. Like that's why she became so renowned and famous for doing them, because they actually work. But she used to use bentonite clay. I don't know all the ingredients, but. We're
giving so much airtime, these parasites. Get out of here. You're not meant to be famous. Get out of here. Let's focus on girls. I don't want them to think we're talking about them.
How many days are we away from the full moon? They've already buried themselves back into your organs, so you're good.
Lord.
God, I hate
you got the schedule, Gina, over there with the schedule. That's disgusting, but it's okay.
She's just wrong.
I went down the parasite rabbit hole years ago, and I've never been the same.
We touched on the hole. We keep going. We're just at the rim. I be careful not to fall in there. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Before I almost.
That's a. Mm-hmm.
No, it's okay. I was just babbling.
No, there's a lot of the cycle of parasites and what people do sexually. I think is crazy. Like,
what are we talking about now? I can't. What are you talking about? Like putting stuff up there to pull out parasites for sex? Like what?
I didn't say put anything anywhere, but possibly that needs to be looked at.
Possibly.
That needs to be looked at. I didn't give out those details, but yeah, that's where I was headed.
Well, you can do enemas. Enemas help to get them. There's a good flush.
Yeah, like a colonostics or
a coffee enema. Coffee enemas are ones.
Colonics. There's the word colonics.
Yeah, colonics is good. I did colonics years and years ago.
Well, it's probably a lot more now.
I'm sure.
I've heard you eating.
Yep. But I don't eat I don't eat sushi. I don't eat raw. So I know I'm probably less susceptible than most because I'm very weird with my food. But yeah, everybody has them. If you have pets, you have them.
Oh my gosh.
Your pets have them.
Yeah, they do. I hate it.
I'll ruin your whole life. I promise.
I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my God. I'm feeling so not as happy as I was before I got on. I don't think this is good for my health. I'm an older person.
It's a 3 of spades week. We're talking about health.
All right.
The word parasites and jack of hearts. Jack of hearts.
Oh, that's why she was addicted to the word. That's why she.
There you go, Gina.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
You know what's crazy? That did happen. So my relative, he has. I ain't gonna call him out, but he knows it. I ain't saying no names. But so he has a dog, and it was eaten by the vent, and the food got into the vent, and there was parasites in the vent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cats mate a lot. Dogs too. They have tapeworms, little worms that. Oh yeah.
What are you supposed to do? How do you not get them then? Like what are you doing?
Well, that's why actually. 100 years ago, 50 years ago, you were there were cleanses. It's usually twice a year, or a lot of the farmers do it for their animals, their livestock. It's usually I think they do it at least once a year, possibly twice a year, that they deworm them. Even the dogs, the heart Heartworms. What do you think that is? That's parasites.
I love
Worms are
my
parasites to me. Shit, all of it is
I,
a parasite.
I love my Hispanic community. Like I feel like we're like cousins in a way, and your food is amazing. And you have like the secrets to how to use spices and like the herbs that can be used. So they do have an anti-parasitic like food and like herb as well. That's like I don't know within the culture. But yeah, that's why we eat and use herbs and use
Mm-hmm.
spices is for the parasites and for those things. And
Mm-hmm.
but we don't know how to use them. We don't know how to cook with them. We're not using them right within their proper form, and it
Right.
frustrates me.
YouTube, we're
To be
calling out for any of the old wise Spanish, Hispanic people who know how to get parasites out in our diet. Tell us.
so KT, the arts degree, actually knows the herb. I haven't watched him in so long. Like I
Well,
used to
there's
be.
wildwood. Is it wildwood or wormwood? Black
Yeah,
Wormwood.
walnut.
wormwood.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Rob said.
Yeah.
Wormwood, black walnut, pumpkin seeds. Some pumpkin seeds.
Mhm.
I've heard you can eat just eating pumpkin seeds. Putting pumpkin in your dog's food or your pet's food can help
But that's high in
eliminate.
I
Argentines. If
cannot
you
believe
have,
we're talking about parasites again. I cannot believe you did this. Now I know why. You're Jack. It's you. You want to talk about yourself. You're talking about yourself.
but it's yeah. Those worms. I actually had black walnuts
Mm-hmm.
growing in my grandmother's backyard, and never knew how valuable they were. Like
Yeah.
used to
Yeah.
grow up eating them, but we never used them in the sense of like boiling them and using them for like cleansing
It's hard
and those
work
type
though.
of things.
I've done those nuts. They're hard. They're really hard to get the medicine out of. It takes some time, but yeah, it's powerful medicine.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and just knowing that family and like some of the medical stuff, like that was like a blessing for them, to be honest. And it's really not valued. And when I found out what it was, I was like, are you serious?
Your
Like, is
family
that what
must have
we
parasites because what you need grows around. So if a plant like that grows around us, that's the biggest thing is everything that grows around us is for us. Like it's responding to us.
like the
I'm not
garden,
trying to
I
say your
feel
family has parasites. I'm not trying to be the Jack of Hearts, telling everybody they have parasites.
Look. Where's the camera?
but I feel like we have intuition, kind of like animals to
Oh, look
herbs.
at you. There she is, parasite. Just look, you're obsessing. You're growing it. I swear to God, I think my baby's growing. My alien inside of me is growing from you.
So it's black. This one has black walnut hull, wormwood, quassia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Quassia, male fern, cloves, and pumpkin seed. So, yep. But like I was telling Groisha, you want to do it, start it a couple of days before the full moon, through the full moon, and after the full moon. Then I would do it again during the new moon cycle, and then do it, repeat it again. If you're doing it for the first time, then repeat it again for the. And I believe the instructions for this cleanse is 1 pill one day, 2 pills the second day, 3 pills the third day, all the way up to 7 pills 7 days, and then you wait 2 weeks and you start over again.
But those don't look like pills. Those look like dried herbs.
No, these are pills. It's all those herbs in.
I just couldn't get over that parasite in my face, like you had it like there. I was like,
yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's it, G.
$4.20 too. I've had this for a while. It's probably more expensive. This might be a few years old. But you also want to make, like I told you, the binders, your black or activated charcoal, the bentonite clay, the DE also helps to get it helps to bind them, because when they have, it's called die off. And that's when you start to get the symptoms of like the migraines. You can get sick because you're killing them and they release toxins. And so that's what that effect that Rob said, that I can't say it, Hercomex or Hercomund, whatever it's called. But
Rob knows so many big words. It's ridiculous.
But that's why you take the binders to help to absorb those toxins when the die off happens. Told you, I did a lot of research.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm at the doctor I didn't make an appointment for. I must look like a parasite. I must look like Gina. I just gotta take off my glasses. Do I look like Gina now? My hair's gotta be curlier.
It's a much needed lesson. It's definitely like I said,
Hey, I'm trying to help you and keep you alive.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, doctor. Yes, doctor. Thank Dr. Scorza.
This is
I
not the first time I've been called doctor. That's so funny. I had someone else
appreciate
say that to me. Yeah, a long time
appreciate you,
ago. They were
Dr.
like, "What are
Scorza.
you, a doctor?" I'm like, "I am, damn it."
As long as you're a doctor of
yeah.
yourself, that's good.
That is anyone that becomes spiritual, like, and you don't have a certification, like somebody's gonna be like, actually, like, well, you supposed to be a doctor, a therapist, like, who are you?
People call me
No,
doctor
I'm
all the
just
time.
trying to take care of my health. Like, what's up? What's wrong with that? Like, and
Mm-hmm.
I read a couple of things, and I'm able to kind of communicate that to you because I read it. So I'm not a doctor, but it's
But
just
you remember a lot of stuff you read. You have a pretty big noodle there. Like your brain really remembers a lot of stuff, and you can go a lot of places. You've taken in a lot of information, Rashad. When you talk, sometimes it's a lot, but not bad a lot. But there's a lot of stuff you read that ties to everything. I do the same thing, but in a different way. But yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
learning about how to use all this information is really interesting. What happened to me this weekend is there's this book called Anam Cara that's got me. I just finished the whole thing and I'm going to listen again. And Anam Cara means soul friend. And it's written by this priest, John O'Donoghue from Ireland. And his brother read it in the Irish voice. But the depth of his connection to the universe, to the planets, to the nature, to the elements, and the way he speaks about everything is so soul based and integrated. It's amazing. So I think all this information any of us are spinning with, it has a goal to become part of what makes us whole and clear, not to be in fear. We never want to be in fear. Even if Dr. Scorza likes to scare you, you don't want to be in fear. You want to know. It's plain. So
No, yeah, it definitely it adds confirmation,
mm-hmm.
to the connectedness, how
Mm-hmm.
everything is tied together, how everything's connected,
Mm-hmm.
that you're not here on this earth alone sometimes, and there's, understanding that we all are here to go through, learn through, and experience through our own point of view, but also that point of view connects to other people's experiences in their own individual way. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely is it's the eye of the universe, right? The eye of the universe. But
Mm-hmm.
this
The
has
bigger
been the
picture.
card table. Hmm?
The bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the nines and the sevens are here to kind of teach us and learn us and kind of guide us through. And sixes, the whole everything. So I can't say it's just one number. It's actually that's why it's the card table, right? So it's all the cards and how they connect together. And we're all just playing our cards and learning our perspective. And Dr. G, is just doing her job at the end of the day. Our cards. So
Rashad, did you make that thing how to play the cards you're dealt? HTPYD or whatever.
what
On
you mean?
On Instagram, did you make that thing how to play the cards you're dealt? It's like the H.
Playing the cards you dealt. Yeah, so that is the my clothing line. And so it's PTCYD. I do have it locked in. I just don't have my logo done.
Oh, so
So
that's a clothing line, that name? Okay. So then
yeah.
if we use that language to talk about like teaching people about that in like workshops and classes, that wouldn't do anything but sell your t-shirts.
Yeah, I mean, for verbal reference, I guess. Yeah, for familiarity. Yes.
Yeah,
So it
just
would,
because the words are so simple, right? Like how to play the cards you dealt. Like it just makes lots of sense if you're playing cards at a
right.
table. But I saw that
Yeah.
you did.
So,
I was just being clear about what it was. But yeah,
right,
us King of Diamonds are always thinking business. That's that. We're trying to manage our business. Just eat and think about business.
I know, but honestly, it's like you said, it's one of those things that becomes a part of you. When you doing the kind of what you want to do or in that line of work. For me, for the Three of Diamonds, is also a kind of even when you don't want it, it comes to you. So even I didn't want the experience this week, but it just came to me. So it's the flow of life, I think. And
Everything you need comes to you, right? And you get to respond.
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
I'm gonna go,
but
guys. This is great. Thank you.
yeah, No problem.
Were
I
you gonna
enjoyed it.
sign out, Rashad, or are you gonna keep going?
No, I was gonna say with this, ask you all if there was anything else that you all wanted to say or close out
No,
on.
going to bed.
Okay. All right. Well, next week is the Four Spades week. Four Spades is actually I'm going to work with the Four Spades, starting our business together. My Pluto is actually the Two of Diamonds is placed in the Four Spades, which is partnership and business. You know, my Neptune is actually was it 10 of diamonds, I think, but it's around packaging, mailing business. So that's actually what I'm going into. So if you gave me, looking at my life spread, my yearly reading, everything's kind of lining up, and with through the weekly Four Spades, starting work with him this week. So I get to see how that goes. But they're very they're ambitious, overcoming obstacles, hurdles, and also like we said, Georgia can be tied with spades, so they can go through a lot in life. I did an interview with him. His family, like he escaped death, basically, right? So he has a very close connection with his father and his ancestor, so I connect the Four Spades to ancestors and your elders, so that he has a lot of respect. And he's like the breadwinner, from at the age of 28 and 29. So
Let's
very
learn more about him next week when we talk all about the Four Spades.
I know, like, let's go. No, right. So let me go. All right, see y'all next week. But yeah, go back and look at the old videos and have a nice one.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Rashad.
You're welcome.